Yeah, what's good? It's your girl, Magna Dragon Phoenix. What's going on, guys and gals? It's been a little while since I've made a video. I have been growing up in life, going through the grow through, and consistently growing up. Now, I know you guys are probably like, growing up? What are you, a child? We always have an inner child. However, we are constantly growing up, no matter what age we are in this physical reality. We're always growing up. Well, I would hope so. Upward is the movement, forward is always the movement. So forward and upward, growing up, glowing up, growing through instead of going through. When you grow through, you don't miss the important information that comes with the experiences that you undergo in life. All right, collective, I hope everyone is doing well. If this is your first time on this channel, welcome. I hope that you will become a subscriber. That would be awesome. And to my day ones that have been with the channel since the beginning, shout out to you guys. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Good to be back. I have a really, really interesting subject matter or subject matters because I may get into a few things. I'm just going to flow with this one. But what I have been channeling for a while now, it's been about 2 months since I've made a video. I've been pretty much receiving a lot of messages during that time. I'm always receiving messages. So that's it. The subject matter that will be the primary topic that I will be focusing on today is we're going to talk about malefic ancestors, and we're going to talk about, generational chains, generational curses, things like that. So let's get into this. It's going to be pretty cool. A while ago, like a couple of years ago, not even a while because it's been years, I made a video about the Elegua Eshu experience, or pretty much covering the Orisha Eshu, Elegua. In that video, I made some points about malefic ancestors. So I want to expand on that in this particular video today. Malefic ancestors. Yes, not all ancestors are, quote, good. Some of them, they can be malefic. They can be malefic. They reincarnate back into the bloodlines, into the family gene pool, coming back into whatever avatar is going to be birthed through particular bloodlines, right? So whatever lineage you're from, whatever family you were born into, reincarnation could be taking place in that particular family tree, right? Ancestors coming back. Now, when there is heavy karmic debt in a family or in a bloodline, there is a lot of reincarnation versus incarnation. Okay? Reincarnation is attributed to karmic debt. That means that you did not get it correct per se. In a previous life, you racked up some bad karma. So you reincarnate to have those experiences that matches the timeline that you're in. And that is supposed to allow you to get it correct so that you can ascend. When a bloodline or a family has a lot of generational curses, there is a lot of reincarnation in that family, and there is also karmic activity on a very high level. How can you know if there's karmic activity on a high level? You can always tell most of the time. One of the number one signs is poverty. That's one experience that a soul may have to balance things out in that bloodline. Or let's talk about generational curses. A generational curse can happen in many ways. Ancestors going back, let's say our forefathers, fathers, I'll give you an example. A forefather, father, whatever, going all the way back. Like, let's say maybe like the 1400s. Did something to someone's daughter. And that particular person happened to be a magus, a magician on a high level. So that magician then speaks a curse over that individual's life for what they have done to their child, their kin, they're a member of their bloodline. So that person now pretty much puts a curse on that particular individual. Let's say that they curse them and they curse their entire bloodline. That is going to fall on the entire bloodline that that individual is from. It is very important that each member of the family acts accordingly, because you could be out there doing harm to other people's kin, and you do not know what kind of guardian angels or what kind of spirits are within that bloodline that is assigned to them to guard them. And then, as the example that I gave, flat out, if someone is a magician and they put a curse on the person and then say that they have cursed their bloodline, as an example, that may not be exactly how they say it. However, you get what I'm saying, I would hope. Drop a comment to let me know what you guys think about this video, and I would love to know your thoughts, what you think about this subject matter, so we can discuss it further in the comments. That would be amazing. I would really love to know what you guys are thinking out there about what I'm explaining. Okay, so we have that infinity loop. We discussed an example of how a curse can be put on a bloodline. Now, let's say that happens and it's left unchecked. Say someone says, I curse you and your bloodline and all of your daughters and their daughters, and going down, right? That's just one example. Now that curse is carrying on and on and on and on. If it is not broken, it was left unchecked. So if we come up to this modern day time, right, and you see a whole bunch of craziness happening in the family, or there's a lot of poverty in the family, people always having misfortunes, losses, setbacks, they get money, they can't keep money, no matter how much money crosses their hand, and it may be a lot of money, they wouldn't be able to tell, because there's spirits around them that are a part of that curse that was put on that bloodline, that are there to take the money from them every time they receive it. Or whatever opportunity they receive, the spirit is there to rent asunder all of the good things that may come with that opportunity. Those are some, small examples. This is why it's very important to pay attention to your family tree and pay attention to the activity within your family, so that you will be able to know if there are generational curses. Nevertheless, the divine typically, after a while, if it is left unchecked for too long, everything always balances itself out. The Creator is not going to leave any being to suffer forever, per se. depending on what that spirit was designed to do, but the whole purpose of living this life is to grow up, grow through, and grow up. So, all of these lessons that come along with your unique and individualistic journey is tailored specifically for your grow up, right? So, these generational curses, the way how they get balanced out when they're left unchecked, this is one example, is a generational curse breaker will incarnate into that family. It's typically a high ranking being, an earth angel, divine being of sorts, whatever you want to categorize it as in this physical reality, for lack of better terms or words, to give an example. But a divine being of that magnitude will be sent into the family to go through all of what the generational curses are that were placed on the family, and they are equipped to be able to break those generational curses even after they have went through all of that hardship. So for example, if a generational curse breaker incarnated into a family that had, let's say, mental illness or mental troubles or something to do with the mind in an unstable way, you bet your ass that generational curse breaker is going to go through it. Well, not go through, they're going to grow through it, and they're going to grow up and break those generational curses of madness or mental illness, mental trouble, mental disorder, whatever you want to categorize it as. That generational curse breaker is going to break it. So maybe sometime in their life, earlier on in previous lifelines or lifetimes, they displayed those qualities, but as they grow through and grow up, you will see them change. And sometimes it seems like they change overnight, or it's like they're a completely different person than what you remembered about them in another lifeline or another lifetime. But that's exactly how it was designed to be. The creator of all will send a generational curse breaker into the family to go through all of those horrible experiences so that they can learn what is incorrectly being done in the family, what caused these generational curses to begin with, and how to break them. Now, let's get back to the malefic ancestors. Not all ancestors are beneficial or benefic. Some of them are malicious. Hence why we see family rivalries. You see aunts not liking nieces or nephews, uncles not liking nephews and nieces, mothers not liking daughters or sons, fathers not liking sons, brothers and sisters fighting, cousins fighting, everyone just fighting in the family. Not to say every family is like that, but we're talking about the karmic families, the ones that are carrying generational curses and a lot of karmic debt. That typically is the case. There's going to be a lot of malefic ancestors on the board. Now, it is very important to acknowledge and realize when there is a malefic ancestor or malefic ancestors in your family dynamic. Generational curse breakers usually are able to see this. They're able to spot it, decipher it, and they're able to maneuver accordingly to be able to break the generational curses and be able to bind and banish those malefic ancestors that are bringing down the family dynamic. Now, when I say Malefic ancestors, and I'm talking about, spirits, yes. However, the spirits do take physical form. We are all spirits in physical form. The malefic ancestors typically are negative spirits. They're malefic spirits. Those are ancestors that have done very awful things throughout their lifetime. They have not changed. They continue to reincarnate in the family to rent asunder all of the positive things that the family could achieve. That is what they were sent in to do by the devil energy or the satanic energy. Nothing against Satan energy, nothing against devil energy. They're doing their job. That's what they are supposed to do. Everything that they're doing is what they are supposed to do. So there's no need to get upset with those particular frequencies. They are actually very powerful teachers. They're there to teach you how to grow up and grow through. So the best thing to do when you're approaching those type of frequencies is to dodge the trickery and get to the lesson there, get to the education, get to the information, because the devil energy and the satanic energy usually has information that is important for your grow up and your growth through. They'll teach you. And I know some people are going to be like, oh, she's a devil worshiper. Oh, she's a satanic. She worships Satan. Listen, stop it. It's a matter of knowledge. It's a matter of understanding the way how the spirit realm works, frequencies, energies, spirits. Just as, some small examples. Understand that when a malefic ancestor is on the board, they are typically being operated by the devil energy or the Satan energy most of the time. And they were specifically sent to do those things. They are supposed to grow up themselves. However, they're not growing up. So in the family dynamic, they're going to create some razzle dazzle, hitting people with a lot of chaotic energy. They're agents of chaos and destruction. And this is how the family dynamic is easily destroyed from within when it is a karmic bloodline, when there's a lot of karmic debt that is being carried by the entire bloodline. So, malefic ancestors, when you spot them, the best thing for you to do is to bind them. They must be bound. If they attempt to harm you, and over again, they have to be bound. You bind them. You bind them and you banish them from your life. There are some ancestors that that have reincarnated in physical form in a physical vessel that do not mean you any well, and they are working with the devil frequency, working with the Satan frequency. They do what they do. You should be doing what you do. You should be prepared to be able to utilize the divine energy to bind them and banish them from your life. So when I made that video about Eshu, Elegua, I pretty much explained that you want to make sure that you close the doors and close all the ways to all malefic ancestors and also all malefic spirits. It is very important to close all doors and all ways to all malefic ancestors and all malefic spirits. You want to wish them well, of course. We always want to approach with a peaceful method, first and foremost, when it comes to spirits that are naughty. However, if they are consistently being naughty after you have instructed them to stand down, you will have to step into your authority, chosen ones, and stand up to that spirit and banish them. Bind them and banish them. Because if you do not, they will continue to persist on ruining your life. All ways and all doors should be closed to malefic ancestors because they're destroying the generational upliftment of the family. Instead, they're doing the opposite, which is attempting to destroy the family. So when you see a family that has like a lot of poverty, a lot of misfortune, losses, setback, there's a lot of criminal activity amongst the family members, and just a lot of just like, lower vibrational activity, karma. The family dynamic has a lot of karmic debt. Most likely there's a lot of malefic ancestors within that family. Hence the reason why the generational curse breakers are sent in. Now, I want to tap into spirits taking physical form. As mentioned, we are all spirits taking physical form. There's different type of spirits that have taken physical form. You have benefic ones and you have malefic ones, right? And to take it to another level, there are some human beings, although they have a soul, etc., etc., they're simply just that, human beings. And that's the reason why they remain oblivious to the spirit realm and other spiritual activity that may be going on around them. It was designed that way. That is what they chose to have an experience in this particular lifeline or this particular lifetime. They're having the experience of being a human without being aware of the spirit realm. That's the creator of all experiencing that type of life through that individual. Because we all contribute to the collective experience. Okay? Now, there are just certain human beings that are just humans. Harry Potter talks about muggles, and how you shouldn't expose the muggles to the magic world. On point. Shout out to J.K. Rowling. Good stuff. One of my favorite authors, actually. She's pretty dope. That's a good depiction of how it be going down. I'm gonna keep it real. Check that out, right? Pretty cool stuff. I had been into that since I was a child. So shout out to JK again. She did her thing with that. All right, back to the subject matter. So essentially, not all spirits that take physical form have the intention to do bad, for lack of a better term, or negative. That's the best word I can use to describe that. And not all spirits that take physical form, do that to do good either, or positive, for a better word. There are some spirits that seek to take physical form with the intention of either or either. Now, another thing is this. For the beings that are aware of the spirit realm, that are in physical vessels, avatars, as they grow through and are growing up, depending on what end of the wheel they are at, whether it be on the negative end or the positive end, is going to determine some activity there. So for example, if someone is on the negative end of the karmic wheel and they're in karmic activity, crazy, just crazy karmic activity, Typically, that means that they are possessed. And when they are possessed, they're not just possessed by one spirit most of the time. They're usually possessed by multiple spirits. And those are the spirits that are requiring a body in order for them to take physical form. So like how you're a spirit and you have a body to take physical form, not all spirits have that. So they seek to take physical form and come into the physical reality through other people's avatars. And the way how they can do that is when people are indulging in karmic activity, or what religious folks like to call sinful endeavors. Either way, however you want to explain it, it's pretty much the same thing. So when they're indulging in a lot of karmic activity, it's easy for that spirit to possess them because they're vibrationally matched. The higher you are in vibration, the harder it is for a lower vibrational entity to possess your avatar, to take it over, to snatch your soul out of your body and put it somewhere in chains while they are using your avatar to have fun in what their version of fun is in the physical reality. To give you an example, you would have to have your inner eye open, clears activated, your chakras balanced, open, in good shape, and all of these things in order for you to be able to see this. So essentially, it's spiritual gifts that enable you to be able to see what I just described. However, for the ones that, have to see it in order to believe it, if that's what you're looking for, you're not going to get that here. That's something that you would have to work towards. You link up with your creator if that's a gift that you're interested in having. For the ones that already have that gift, they know exactly what I'm talking about. So when that spirit knocks the person out of their body, or snatches the person's soul out of their body and chains it up somewhere, and they're having a party, however they want to have a party in the person's avatar, 9 times out of 10, it is not just one spirit. That body is up for grabs. So it's multiple spirits that have taken over that avatar. And what you have to understand is each spirit, depending on the type of spirit that it is, not all spirits, but most of them, they have spirits that they're in charge of, depending on the category of the spirit. So let me use a demon as an example. Each demon, most of them, some of them don't, some of them it's just one. But we're going to talk about the ones that have legions that are with them. Each demon has a legion. Now, a legion is approximately somewhere between 8,000 and 10,000 spirits. So for that one legion, that's 10,000. Let's just round it off and say 10,000. So if a spirit has 3 in their legion, right? Let's say they have 3. You can do the math there. That's 3 times 10,000. That's 30,000 legions of spirits that they are responsible for. So now when that spirit possesses that avatar that they took over, and that, let's say it's one spirit with 3 legions, that now that is the spirit plus 30,000 spirits that has taken over that avatar. And if more take over that avatar and continue, let's say 10 spirits take over that avatar, and they have, each of them have 3 legions with them. Do the math. You can see there how many spirits are within that person. And we're not even going to talk about what part of the person's body those spirits may be in, and what they went into the body to do, because some of them, they go in there to cause sicknesses or different things. And sometimes the spirit is sent to the person to do that from a spell work that was done by a nemesis or something like that. Or, those spirits are being passed down through the karmic activity. If it's within a family dynamic, that has a lot of generational curses. So they inherit those spirits. And they're, carrying that burden with them as they go through. The spirits are terrorizing their lives and causing burden after burden after burden. So when you see people doing all kind of unscrupulous things, most of the time they are being influenced by negative spirits to do those things. Those spirits have possessed them to do those things. Typically, most people that drink, it's easy for them to be possessed. People that do drugs like narcotics and stuff like that, it's easy for them to be possessed. Another generational chain, another way you can typically tell if a person has generational chains as well is if they are very lustful. That means that they have sex demons around them, or sex spirits rather, because not all demon is bad. They have incubi and succubi within them, incubus, succubus spirits. So that's usually the case when a person is extremely lustful, right? That's one of the 7 deadliest sins, if you want to call it that. And there is demons that are attached to each of those, right? And then we discussed legions. So each of those demons have legions of spirits that take orders from them. So that'll be what would be plaguing that person, or what would be within that person, in their heart space, in their mind, in their inner eye chakra space, in their inner eye chakra, in their crown chakra space, in their heart chakra space. Their heart chakra, just to give you an example, and each chakra is connected to a specific organ. So they could be in that particular organ, and that's how you see people getting sick sometimes, and they're not able to categorize what kind of illness it is. It's mysterious. The next thing you know, the person is deathly ill or something like that, as an example. So the generational curse breaker is going to come into the family dynamic, experience all of those awful things to the highest degree, because even some of their family members don't even go through some of the stuff that they are going through. They took on all of the karma. So let's say some people in the family took on the karma for lust. Most people took on the karma for poverty, or whatever the case may be. That generational curse breaker is going to take on all of the karmic activity, all of the debt, all of the karmic debt. They're going to experience everything in their lifetime when they are on the opposite end of the karmic wheel. That is a generational chain, or attached to generational curses that they will have to break. And once they do that, that starts to assist the other family members in the bloodline to be able to overcome that karmic debt if they choose to. But whether they choose to or not, either way, what the generational curse breaker has done is going to uplift the family dynamic, whether it be through what they do with their life, or if they were, they're doing it through their life and they work with their family members to assist them with that, or they have done it in their life and it sends ripples through the family tree, and this assists the members of that family in those bloodlines to rise up. And that is where I'm going to leave it with this one. I would like for you guys to think on what I just reviewed. I hope you enjoyed it. I really would love to hear your comments. Well, hear them as I read them. I'm hearing them because I'm, hearing myself read it. But I would love to read your comments and engage in a dialogue with you about this particular video. If you have any questions or anything, I'd be happy to answer them for you. I want to thank you guys for taking the time to stop by my channel and checking out my video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video so that more people in this world can be uplifted by these positive messages and the knowledge that is being shared at this time. Thank you. I hope that you all are having a wonderful time whenever you are.